Uh, But you haven't heard a word that I've said. And there are things which happen, technically, that I simply do not understand. And for some reason, on this particular morning, the microphone has decided it wants to mute itself. Now it's working. Don't ask me why these things happen. They are the mysteries of the modern age. Computers are all very well, but unless you intimately understand them, they don't always behave. They know who the master is, and it ain't us. Computers dominate our life. Not only that, when they want to tweak our tail, they tweak our tail. And boy, do they tweak our tail. Anyway, let me start again. Welcome to Mirador Television. Welcome to sitting beside me, Keith Hayes. Welcome to the Black Horse Pub. It's a gorgeous day out there, and it's going to hit 21 today. No rain and a nice, gentle breeze. So a day for outdoors. Oh dear, I am stuck. But in a pub. And what's more, there's a loaded bar, and it's just me. The chief of staff isn't here. And thank you, Kevin. We have a lovely chap, Kevin Kramer, who is a Louisian. He's a very, very talented guy. And he watches us most mornings and gives a little prod. We are like Marmite to each other. Sometimes we love each other, sometimes we hate each other, and sometimes it's in between. The one thing is that we never forget each other. Thank you, Kevin. So we're off and running on a day when very little is happening. And we will be footling around a little bit in preparation for tomorrow when everything happens. Friday is our jamboree. And from 8 o'clock when we go on the air to quite often we're nudging opening time, 12 o'clock, we go off the air. It is a whole barrel of fun. Chatter, debate, leg pulling, you name it. Thursdays, we normally build up to plenty of Henty with John Henty. But John Henty is in Brighton today, preparing for his own festival, that of that of Max Miller. And he's having a little Max Miller festival in August. And the cafe owner in the park in Brighton, in the grounds of the pavilion, is cooperating with him very happily. And they are preparing an extravaganza. But it means he has to take off today to meet some of his colleagues and get the thing organized. So he came by yesterday, and I must say that it was after I was pretty exhausted from interviewing the Reform candidate, Bernard Brown, And normally we have very good repartee, but I had to leave John to handle most of the program yesterday because I was so exhausted. And you think that interviewing people where you've got to be aware and on the mark all the time, and where the old computer is busy pinging you and saying this isn't happening and that's not happening, is like a wet rag at the end of it. So John was yesterday. You can catch him on Facebook or YouTube, and it's always worthwhile. It's always a wee bit of fun. But that's a Thursday, and he won't be around today. So it may be that we'll take a half-day holiday today. Maybe. We'll see. The thing with Mirador is you never know quite what's going to happen. You think, oh, God, I've got nothing to talk about at all, and end up not having enough time. And other times you think, oh, gosh, I got a full program today, and it's all over by midday. No, over by 10 o'clock in the morning. That's the nature of the beast. But I do hope, like us, you find it fun. And I hope you enjoy the fact that you don't know what the hell's going to happen on this television screen while we're doing our thing. So there you are. That's what it's all about. All right. I've been to the weather, and a nice day it is going to be. A nice day it already is. It's lovely out there. And it's nice to see people wandering by in short sleeve shorts, all ready to enjoy a bit of sunshine. I, on the other hand, am dressed as I always am. 10 pairs of dungarees. I call these, I forget what the real name is for them, but anyway, the vest-like pantaloons. And I've got a thermal vest on, and I've got this on, and I've got that on. So actually, I can't tell whether it's the sun is hot or cold or in between or whatever. All right. Let's turn to the news headlines and see what on earth we have got. Let's see. Yes. It's not very encouraging. It's not very encouraging for the Tories, that's for sure. Although I have to say that the polls can be notoriously out of kilter. The anti-conservative feeling throughout the country, according to the polls, doesn't seem to be reflected in Lewis. It doesn't mean to say that there isn't an anti-Tory feeling in Lewis. I think there is. From the social media platforms, most certainly there is. But what I do mean is that the areas of chat and talk in a town that is notoriously rebellious are perhaps a bit different to the rest of the country. So who knows what's going to happen here? And who knows how this might be replicated in various places around the country. Anyway, the Daily Telegraph, Tory wipeout. And I suppose they've been asking for a spanking. A Tory wipeout reads the top story in the Daily Telegraph, citing its own exclusive opinion polls. The paper reports Rishi Sunak is predicted to become the first sitting Prime Minister ever to lose their seat at a general election. An analysis says Kemi Badenoch is the future of the party, but no one else survives this catastrophic situation. Well, perhaps we are going to see a tremendous change in perhaps the whole political structure. It could be that people have got totally and utterly fed up with all politicians because of the state that politics has got itself into. And that's just not the Tories. That's the whole range of political endeavour. But anyway, the Telegraph poll says a Tory wipeout. The Eye. Tories despair as a poll signals the worst defeat in 200 years. I'm not sure we were voting quite the way that we vote now, 200 years ago. But I won't take the Eye on right now. Perhaps a little later. The paper's headline reads, Tories despair as the poll signals the worst defeat in 200 years. Citing a YouGov survey, it says the Conservatives could be reduced to 108 seats, and that the party is losing support to Reform UK. Well, we had the Reform guy on yesterday. Quite interesting, and he was very articulate and made a lot of sense. The Eye adds that the 2028 general elections looks increasingly attractive to Boris Johnson. In other words, what Boris is up to is exactly what our analysts have said Nigel Farage should do, and that is skip this election and lead a party that is made up of true Conservatives in the next election. Is that a sound strategy? Probably. But it looks as if perhaps we might see Boris go head-to-head with Nigel. Oh, strange bedfellows. And then big fights. The Times. The Tories set to suffer the worst poll defeat for 100 years. The Times has lopped 100 years off its estimate of when the last bad result for the Tories was. So the worst defeat for 100 years. The front page of the Times also reports on the YouGov survey about the Conservatives' prospects. They're saying they are set to suffer the worst defeat for 100 years. Like several other papers, the Times includes an image of Just Stop Oil activists spraying the Stonehenge landmark with an orange powder. Disgusting. And those are the people that want to protest so that we get better governance. They've got to be joking. Daily Mail. Well, it asked the right question. Is nothing sacred to the echo clowns? The Daily Mail includes the same image of the Just Stop Oil activists who were responsible for defacing Stonehenge, asking, is nothing sacred? Well, the way it puts it, no, nothing is sacred. It asks, is nothing sacred in the echo clowns? And in the story it says, 3 polls raise fears of Keir Starmer supermajority, referring to the Labour Party's leader, and where Labour are standing in the opinion polls. More than in the opinion polls, in the polls where we would want good governance. The Daily Express. It leads on the Stonehenge scarring. It says, by defacing one of the world's most treasured heritage sites, Just Stop Oil have shown how pathetic they truly are. This is the Daily Express. And just lock them up, says the Express. How pathetic they truly are. Well, the echo warriors in that particular bag don't have too much to say. Haven't got too much support. And generally speaking, their tactics are not finding public support. The Guardian. Reeves pledges to close the gender pay gap once and for all if Labour wins. There is a picture of Kim and Putin, Russia, and America, more or less supporting some of these acts. But a much more dangerous story is the Guardian finds Nigel low down. and really not inviting to be ascribed as where he stands in the current race. The paper carries a photo of Putin walking down a red carpet alongside North Korea's Kim Jong-un, with the headline "Alarm as Kim and Kiss." They've got I'm listening to some advice from the back about how we can get appropriate music for this story, but I'm afraid that it is what we refer to is local, and that may not fill in or fit in with the way that you or the electorate in Lewis will fit in. The FT. Sunak claims credit as inflation hits Bank of England's target for the first time in 3 years. Picture of Jeremy Hunt smirking, but he's the Chancellor. Came down during his watch. What a lucky boy he is. An image of Chancellor Jeremy Hunt's documents there we are. That's who we've got. An image of Chancellor Jeremy Hunt dominates the front page of the Financial Times under the caption, "Scanned by Truss. Hunt admits times still are all very scary." Hunt admits the Tories are still in recovery. The top story says Sunak claims credit as inflation hits the Bank of England targets of 3%. For the first time in 3 years, she says, they've stabilized the situation. She also says that Labour earlier believed prices and policies were too high. Metro, Brave Lear fought to the end. The Metro has gone away from politics altogether. Well, not really. It's got a bit about Keir Starmer on the front page, but not pertinent to this election, I don't think. Brave Lear fought to the end. The Metro's front page headline reads, the top story says, teenager Leah Croucher may have fought back before she was murdered by a sex offender. The Mirror. It also stays with sport. A big picture of Harry Kane on the front page. Kane the Danes, it says. Kane, so a play on words. Kane the Danes. And that's tonight. 8 o'clock? I guess so. Most of them are. 50,000 fans join Prince William. at the Euros. Kane, the Danes don't have any money left. Chief of Staff took it all off me this morning. The Daily Star says, desperately looking for friendship romance with a decidedly average soulmate. Well, yes, aren't we all? Okay. Whoops. Now I've totally lost the plot. No. Well, I'll have to have a go at getting back on board. In case I've disappeared. Oh dear. It never rains, but it pours. Well, we're getting somewhere. No, we've completely cocked it up. Don't ask me why. Mine is not to question why. Mine is about to do or I have no idea where we are, why we're doing. Let's. Now, no, I, okay. I'm going to end and come back in 5 minutes. Toodle.